All right, and welcome to our 11:11 p.m. Eastern Time for our 11-minute meditation and our one card pull. Welcome back. It's Monday. Seems like it's been a little while since we've been here.
Yeah.
So I always like to introduce myself. I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, student of astrology, master of numerology, and the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast deck. And I always like to know how we are all feeling emotionally on a scale of 1 to 10. 10, you mean you're feeling great. 1, you're still sort of trying to hide yourself under the bed, under the covers. So, Nick, where are you today? What's your level?
About a 9.
Awesome.
Good.
And Linda?
8.
8. And Susan?
7.5.
Awesome. So let's see what our cards say for today, what we need to focus in on regarding our chakra, what affirmation we can use to keep ourselves in that high frequency, and what number is going to show up with a hidden message. There goes our card as it flies. Let's see what we got. Interesting card. I don't know if you can see from my love partnership. Love partnership. And the chakra associated with tonight is the throat chakra, which makes sense because when we think about our love partnerships, it's how we speak to our love partnership. And the number is also 6 and 3. 6 is about how we can learn to communicate in a more healing way. And 3 is what it is you are creating in that love partnership. Now, if for whatever the reasons are, you are not in a love partnership with somebody else, always remember that the first partnership that you need to be in love with is the partnership with self. When the partnership with self is, I like to say, pouring out of the glass, then you open up your energy to bringing more love to other partnerships, externally speaking. So when we think about that 6 and 3 energy, the hidden message is a 9. So the 9 is how can you transition? How can you transform in your love partnership? And what exactly are you looking for regarding your love partnership? Being super clear in regards to what your love partnership should look like for you specifically. Any questions on that? We're clear on the whole concept of being super clear what you'd want your love partnership to look like, how to transform into that space of the love partnership, and recognizing that the first partnership we have is with ourselves, and then that transitions over to others. Yes? All right. So I'm inviting everybody to place your feet on the floor. Let's get in a meditation comfortable position where your feet are placed on the floor to ground you. Resting your hands in your lap. Begin to close your eyes. Begin to take a deep breath in. And as you take this deep breath in, I'd like you to begin to visualize your breath as you exhale, allowing that breath to fill your body up, where it allows you to expand your energy out. Rather than trying to fit yourself into small places, allow your energy to just fully expand. As your body expands, just visualize this expansion where your root chakra begins to open up and expands, allowing your spine to lengthen, where you begin to feel your crown chakra elevating as high as it can elevate. Just on that exhale, just feel that expansion. Now take another breath. And as you take this exhale from that breath, just allow that expansion to help you feel more connected to Mother Earth. Feeling your feet on the floor. Allowing the soles of your feet to spread. Where you really feel your feet on the floor. Making that connection. And as you connect with Mother Earth, begin to allow yourself to completely relax your body. shoulder blades pulling back, your jaw relaxing, your chin away from your chest, opening up the throat chakra. Allowing you to energetically expand, but still feeling nice and tall. And as you feel that breath down by your feet, connecting to Mother Earth, begin to feel that energy flowing up, interconnecting with the sacral chakra, on up into your solar plexus, moving it up into your heart, and on up into your throat. And feel that energy coming up into your third eye, until you can feel the energy up at your crown chakra. Begin to feel, sense, and touch this energy that connects you between your higher self and Mother Earth. And as you make that connection, begin to connect with what's known as a love partnership. What does that look like for you? What does that feel like for you? And whether you're in an existing love partnership or you're not in a love partnership with a significant other, just begin to visualize that love partnership with self if you are not in a relationship currently. And if you are in a relationship currently, begin to imagine that relationship and begin to see how you can see things different from that relationship. How would you like that relationship to be filled with more love? Where you begin to transition from wherever you are in that relationship. And possibly hearing yourself have a conversation with your partner. And that could be the partner with self. And having this conversation to how you can heal this love partnership to another level, transitioning the relationship to another level. And being in that space of being able to create the next level in that relationship. And possibly being able to visualize the healing that's taking place with that relationship, the healing that takes place as you are changing the way you communicate, how you are changing the way you listen, Reminding yourself that communication is not always about saying things, but sometimes about listening to what the other person has to say, even if that other person is yourself. And again, you may very well be in the space of a love partnership with self, learning to love yourself on a deeper level. Just take a breath here. Take a breath. Go deeper into that relationship. Be in that space of asking how you can heal this relationship even deeper than it already is. What would you like to create from that relationship? How would you like to see yourself different in that relationship? How would you like to be heard differently? Now I'd like you to take a deep breath here. And as you exhale the breath, what I'd like you to do for the next 5 minutes is begin to have a conversation with your partner. And remembering, be mindful that this partner could be yourself. Begin to have a conversation, letting your partner know how you would like to see things, what you are going to bring to the table in that relationship, how you would like to transform the relationship, how you would like to heal from the relationship. Just visualize yourself having this beautiful conversation. And again, whether it's yourself you are speaking to, or you are actually speaking to another person, this is an opportunity for you to express, share your thoughts. And as you're in that space, I'd like you to very gently place your right hand over your solar plexus, your left hand over your heart center. Just begin to visualize, sense, and touch this beautiful energy between both hands, activating healing energy. Visualize the energies of beautiful green and pink shining out on both you and the other person, or you and yourself. And begin to visualize the beautiful blue energy in the throat chakra as you are having this amazing conversation. And just seeing that blue color being activated. The stronger the blue color gets, brighter, the more powerful your voice becomes. But powerful in a much assertive, compassionate, kind, peaceful way. Not with aggression, not with anger, not with frustration. Speaking in the most kindness voice you can speak in. And just take a breath here. Just very gently place both hands back on your heart center. And taking a moment just to thank your partner for this opportunity to communicate, to listen, to create, to heal. And now just begin to visualize this beautiful pink ball of light surrounding just you. And perhaps whispering to yourself, I love you. And as you say those words, just visualize that blue energy from the throat chakra becoming powerful. And now just take a moment to thank your higher self and Mother Earth for their support, their healing, their guidance. Thanking yourself for this time of healing and creating and transformation. Begin to slowly feel your energy coming back into your body. Begin to feel your feet on the floor. Begin to feel your hips on your chair. Begin to feel your body back in your room. And slowly begin to see a beautiful white light surrounding you. And when you're ready, take a deep breath. Exhale the breath. As you exhale your breath, just energetically feel that expansion, taking up the space in your room, all of your energy. And open your eyes. Everybody back. Linda, you back with us? Excellent, excellent.
Yes.
All right, so Nick, where are you emotionally?
Close to a 10.
Awesome. Linda?
8.5.
Awesome. And Susan?
8.5 also.
Good. Excellent. Excellent. And before we dive into the feedback, Nick, I definitely invite you to go and watch this video. You're going to be very, very intrigued by your body language during the meditation.
Okay.
Because I was very intrigued. I wanted to know what was going on. So with that being said, if you can share, if you can remember what was going on in your visual.
I was basically dealing with a lot of self-love issues, and also the need to be less selfish and self-centered. Not that I really am, but there are times when I am. I think it's in the way of relationships.
Okay.
And so I sort of dug around with that too. And also it dealt with some of Kyle's, I called it kind of mineness, where it's like things are mine and we don't share easily because we both have the same sort of background, and how that could get in the way of like a cohabitation situation.
Nice. Yes, because there was one point where it looked as though you were either being hugged or giving yourself a hug.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was very sweet.
It felt like an embrace a little bit.
Yeah, it was very sweet. So I definitely recommend you go back and watch once I post it up. It was very sweet. Yes. And Linda, for you,
It was good.
what did you experience?
I traveled and I met a couple people.
And during conversation, were you able to conversate with somebody, maybe yourself or somebody else, in reference to the love partnership part?
I know I spoke to people, but I don't remember what was discussed.
Okay. Excellent. Very nice. And Susan, how about for you?
Since I'm in a new relationship with somebody, it had a lot to do with that, and kind of keeping the flow positive, because he has a really hard schedule for me to work around to see him. So trying to keep upbeat and trying to kind of like myself in order for the relationship to go well.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you focus mostly on the fact that he has a hard schedule to cope with? Is that your focus?
No, actually, I try to focus on the times that I'm with him so that, it can be more upbeat and I'm not worried about when the next time will be.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And was there anything else you want to share with that?
I think that when you're in a new relationship, you have to let go of all the other relationships that you ever had because it's brand new and you don't need to bring all that baggage in with you.
Oh yes, that's definitely a very good tip with any relationship, whether it's a relationship with someone significant or just a
Right.
new friend or a new job for that matter.
Right.
All the baggage that we carry from other relationships or other just partnerships in general,
Mm-hmm.
all of that needs to be put aside in reference to recognizing what you've learned from the relationships and partnerships
Uh-huh.
and things that you'd like to heal from, and also in reference to making space for more learning and learning from the relationships and partnerships.
Yeah, because we had a talk and what he said to me was he got burned in his last relation. He got hurt really bad. And so he's not looking to dive in right away to be very serious. So, that was like a little clue in for me not to put pressure on him to, make the relationship something that it's not yet.
Yes.
So I got
Yeah,
to take it slow.
exactly. Yes, exactly. He was definitely giving you a big tip that he's not ready for a serious relationship.
Right.
Is what he's giving you. And theoretically, when we think of relationships, even partnerships for that matter, it's also about what us humans have a challenging time with is that we do not allow ourselves to heal from one relationship to another. We
Right.
tend to come out of a relationship and think we need to dive right into a new relationship, and we never heal from the previous relationship, which is why so many people bring in the baggage to previous relationships, because they never give themselves time to heal from
Right.
a relationship for
Right.
whatever the reasons are. And a lot of it could be too that when we're in relationships, things that show up with the other person are mirror effects of things we need to heal with ourselves in the
Mm-hmm.
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So when it is about being in a relationship, whether it's in a relationship with somebody else or a relationship with self, especially the relationship with self, because every day, every month, every year is a learning experience of who we are on a deeper level. What we used to like maybe 5 years ago, we may not like now. What we used to tolerate 5 years ago or in a previous relationship or even a previous job, we may not be willing to tolerate that anymore. So when we think about partnerships in general, it's really about having those boundaries to understand that this is what I want to bring to the table, and what are you going to bring to the table? And also recognizing that, the person you are with may not be, obviously, it's not the same person you were with in the previous relationship. And also understanding too, when we think about partnerships, and I think Nick can probably shed a little light on this. When we think about partnerships, over time, your partner changes. So when we're looking at our partners and looking at ourselves, let's say you're in a relationship for 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, whatever, not that person you're in that partnership is not the same person that person was when you first met them. And it is really important to sit down and have a conversation with that person to reevaluate where they are, where you are, and what you would like to, what new things you'd want to bring into the relationship. And the reason why I mentioned Nick about being able to elaborate on this, Nick, I remember times when you and I would chat and the different things, bless you, the different things that you have mentioned about how Kyle has changed for the better, of course. Could you elaborate a little bit about like what you like in your relationship, how you see the changes with him, if you don't mind?
Not to get too specific, but when I first met him, he was kind of living sort of a very, I don't want to say frugal, but like simple existence.
Okay.
He would hate me and talk about this, but I think it's relevant. He was sleeping on a pool float as his bed.
He was sleeping on a what?
On like a pool float, a swimming pool raft.
Okay.
He didn't have that much. He'd just gotten a brand new job. He was living in somebody's closet for a while. He got his first apartment, and now he has a beautiful studio with like nice furniture and a big computer, and and a lot of that was probably because of me, but also it's because the experience kind of let him grow as a person and let go of his doubts of himself and his own lack of self-worth. And I think people in the past made him feel, and grow in his job and grow in his craft and grow in his, and so today he's a very different person than when I met him. He's much more confident, much more ambitious, much more willing to give himself credit for things. And I think, I mean, like, I'm not going to be arrogant and say it's all because of me, but I think it's the experience.
Yeah, and plus a good portion of it could be because of you, because of how the two of you communicate in your relationship and the support that you give each other in the relationship.
I mean, I was a major part of it. I was a major part of it, but I think, I see how much he changed, and sometimes it does concern me because I do get to a point where I'm like, oh God, he's going to become too good for me and leave. I do feel that way sometimes, and as long as as long as it's still there, you kind of grow into the change.
Sure, exactly. Well, that's what the partnership is for. Yeah. That as you spend more and more time together, meaning in reference to length of time, like, a 5-year relationship, a 10-year relationship, as time goes on, you grow and you transform. And it's really important to be able to come and sit at the table with each other and have a conversation and say, whatever your boundaries probably were in the beginning of the relationship, you probably have new boundaries. Yeah. It's really important to have that conversation, because when we learn to communicate with our partners, and even again, going back in reference to, I want to bounce it back and forth between being in a relationship and being in a relationship with self. The concept is that even for self, you may have new boundaries that you want to literally sit down and write on paper to what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. And having that conversation doesn't mean you got to, it's a conversation you're having with a significant other. It could be a conversation you're just having with yourself in regards to, this is what my new boundary. This is what I'm going to look for in my next mate. And then put that out there. So it really is about, whether the partnership is with somebody else or you're really working on healing yourself on a deeper level so you can be the best version of who you are and coming to the table as the best version of who you are. And as Susan said, recognizing and really listening that if your partner is saying to you, they just came out, they've had really intense relationships in the past and they've been through the mill and whatever not, and they're not really ready to have that deep connection and long-term relationship, listen, because they're sharing some very important information that you may not be on the same page as they. And if you're thinking it needs to go a certain way and they're just expressing how they're not ready for that, it could be a red flag for the relationship. So really pay attention to what the other person is saying when they say it. Because one of the things I can definitely say and contest to, when people say what they say, if you interpret it any other way, it's not going to be what you're interpreting, it's what they're saying. And the best thing you can always do is say to them, I like to repeat back what I heard you say. And say, this is what I heard. And then repeat back and gain that clarity that either they're going to say, yes, that's exactly what I said, or they're going to say, no, that's not what I meant. And you gain that clarity. That's about the communication. The most important key to any relationship, whether it's a friendship, an intimate relationship, a business relationship, communication. Learning to listen to what the other person says, not just be in a space of having to give a response. Listening is key. And when we learn to do that, we really do learn to heal on a deeper level, because we're now paying attention to what the other person is actually saying. And you grow together. And there will be times that when you're in your relationship with the other person, you find yourself feeling as though, well, maybe they're outgrowing me, or maybe I'm outgrowing them. It's just a little growing spurt. That just means that if you feel like they're outgrowing you, then what can you do so you can get to their level? If you feel like you're outgrowing them, what can you do to have a conversation with them to see if they're ready to expand? Doesn't mean you have to walk away. The question is, what can you do to help them feel more supportive so they can expand? And in reference to Susan's case, the best thing is, assuming you do want to be in this relationship with this person, the best thing you can do is hold space for him, making him feel comfortable and safe around you. That he will be able to be vulnerable and more at ease with being in a long-term relationship, something on a much deeper level. But holding that space, and it's not about saying it, it's about showing it. You know, so it is really, it's more of the expression, the action, as opposed to saying. And when someone can feel that someone's holding space for them so they can be vulnerable and feel safe, that says a lot. But just by saying it means absolutely nothing. So actions speak so much louder than the words. And in reference to Nick, for yourself, when you are in that space where you're feeling as though your partner is leaping a little further than you, where you get a little bit of uncertainty, ask yourself what you can do to align yourself with his energy. And then ask yourself if you're willing to do that, and then leap into it. And for Linda, in regards to the partnerships with yourself and other people, it's just a matter of just really allowing yourself just to be in that space and really get clarification of what it is you're really looking for from another person on a deeper level. And what you're willing to bring to the table, what wounds you're ready to heal from previous relationships, and then just open up your energy to receiving it from somebody else. Any questions? We're good? Awesome. So that was our card for today. Pretty deep. Love, partnership, the throat chakra. So remember again, when we think about the throat chakra, it's not always about what we're saying as much as it is about what we're listening to. Being able to listen to your partner when he or she speaks, as opposed to having to give your opinion. Give them a chance just to speak, whatever it is they want to talk about, without interacting, just listening. And then when they're ready to ask you about your day, then you get to do the same. It's not always about the things we say. It's sometimes the action behind it. So allowing your partners to feel vulnerable, feel safe, and know that when they feel safe and vulnerable, you'll get so much more from them. And just recognizing that if you're feeling as though they're leaping ahead of you, Ask yourself what you are ready to do so you can be in the same vibration of them. And that works to being healing and creating a beautiful relationship that involves a lot of transformation. That's our card. So we'll be back here next Monday. Every Monday we come for our 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 11-minute meditation and 1 card pull. For our YouTube viewers, feel free to leave your comments at healingwithin76@gmail.com. And I look forward to seeing you all next Monday night, same time. Namaste.